She is a diversity expert. She's going to tell us how to break the code at Facebook because she got some money from them. We're going to talk about her program. Yes, I'm going there. Let me welcome Latasha Morrison. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
How you doing, Karen?
I'm good.
Great.
Yes. All right. So as I was saying, Hallmark apologized, but what are they doing about it? They apologized for pulling ads featuring two women getting married.
They're trying to kind of go back on what they said by pulling the ads, but I don't know if Zola, the company, wants to put them back up there. So
well, they ran the ads, which
Yeah.
meant that they vetted them. They were like, okay, we're in 2019. People are marrying. It's the law. We should represent everybody.
But these groups, the petition that was started,
Okay.
I guess they didn't realize that the people who would be against it, the petition outweighed the people that signed the petition, And so then you got Ellen DeGeneres behind it. She made a comment, and that was it right there.
Yeah, Ellen's got millions of people. But, on the flip side, listen, you don't have to agree with somebody's lifestyle. You don't have to agree with somebody's anything.
But isn't Hallmark cars for everyone? Like you want everyone to buy the cars, right?
I would think that.
Yeah.
But so I used to watch this show on the Hallmark Channel, The Good Witch.
Okay, yeah.
I was watching it for several seasons, but this is how indoctrinated I am in anti-blackness.
Yeah.
There ain't no black people in Mayberry. Where the hell is the town?
None. It's all white utopias.
And what's interesting is the main character, I think, is from Lebanon or something. Like she's not
Lebanese,
white. She's
Yeah.
not. She's not white. That witch is not white, y'all. But it's like y'all are bugging. But I was like, why am I watching this damn show? And the witch
because it pulls you in.
It does.
Because it makes you feel good.
Yes.
Because things are crazy in the world, and we escape to Hallmark Channel
Yes.
because we don't want all the drama.
We don't. You're
we
right.
don't want the
You're
drama.
right. I just want
That's what it is.
I want the happy ending.
Exactly. We want the bow on it.
Yes.
We want to feel good. And that's what her show does.
But I realized that black people aren't in the happy ending.
Yeah, we not.
So I had to stop watching.
We're not
it.
on that island.
Yeah, so that, and I stopped watching the second season of American Gods. I've just had to change around a whole bunch of things. And now I'm never watching it again because they got rid of Orlando Jones as Mr. Nancy. But I also wanted to mention that Moesha is going to be rebooted. Now, that's starring Brandy. And Ray J, is Ray J coming back on there too? I don't know. It says the whole cast, Cheryl Lee Ralph, who looks the exact damn same. I think Cheryl Lee Ralph, shout out to her, diva, is a vampire because I just saw her on Ray Donovan, and I was like, well, damn, Cheryl Lee Ralph, what the hell? Like, she ain't aged in like 30 years. What is happening?
Good black don't crack.
She is living her best life. So she's supposedly coming back, as well as William Adam Young. Unfortunately, of course, Lamont Bentley won't be there because he passed away, died, I think, in a car accident. Amazing young man. He was doing some smart things with his money, too. Oh, God rest his soul. But why are we doing Moesha again? What is this? Why? There's what? Okay. Are you good?
I mean, I think that those were good shows back in the day, and I think maybe some with Netflix era and Hulu, people are going back and watching those shows now, and hopefully that they sign deals where they can get benefit. The actors can still benefit from the reruns and
shows,
the Netflix and Hulu. So reboots, helps people reboot their money. And, so I'm thinking they're good. They were good quality shows. And I think there's just a lack of just people being able to inspire others now. Just a lack of talent out there writing, I don't know.
Well, we have a tale of two cities. I joke that it's the end of the world off mic, which is why we can't have original ideas because it's all going to come to an end. But at the same time, I'm watching like The Chi and all of Childish Gambino, Donald Glover's show, and I want to say Netflix has a sketch comedy show that's hilarious. The Astronomers Club or something, and you have Black Lady Sketch. You have so many great new shows that are smart, starring us on TV.
But no good family shows. Like when you think about the family shows, like when you start thinking about Family Matters and Moesha and some of those, there's not a whole bunch of those. So I think that's why some of the reboots are happening.
Okay, I see your point.
There's not a lot of family shows.
No Cosby type shows.
Yeah.
I like the one with Cedric the Entertainer and Tashina Arnold. Where they play the neighbor,
the neighborhood.
The neighborhood
Yeah.
is it the neighbors,
The neighborhood.
CBS.
They live in the neighborhood.
They do.
Yeah.
That's funny and cute and family oriented, but it's not.
Cute.
You're right. And the what was it? The Carmichaels. They canceled
they took that one off.
Yeah. Okay, I see your point. All right. Shout out to Moesha. Hey, Brandy. All right. Let me welcome back Latasha Morrison. Who are you? Tell me your story. Tell me your story.
You know what? I am.
She just came in the studio. No, seriously. Let me say, I've never met you before today. Your personality is huge. You got a lot of good juju all around you. You got this aura of like warmth and just loveliness. So tell me your story.
My name is Latasha Morrison, and I am the founder and president of an organization called Be the Bridge, and we're about empowering people to do that work of racial healing, racial equity, and racial reconciliation. So that is who I am, and that's what I represent.
Where you from?
That's what I do.
Where are you from? Where are you from?
You probably can hear it in my voice. North Carolina,
no,
Southern
I can't.
girl. You couldn't?
No.
Okay, good.
Well, when you said you can't, I heard it. But before you said I can't, I didn't hear it. So it just came out.
I'm originally from North Carolina, but I live in Atlanta right now.
What part of North Carolina?
Fayetteville. So right outside of what they call Vietnam, Fort Bragg, military. So I grew up as a military kid,
So how does a kid growing up on a military base or in a military environment aspire to be the bridge?
Because having that diverse environment, like in my neighborhood, we had everyone in my neighborhood. Even when I went to school, although it was predominantly white, I could never say like someone's story. They never had a African American teacher, or they never had a Latino teacher or Latinx teacher. But for me, I had all of that. I experienced all of that, and I feel like it made my life richer. And so moving from Atlanta to Texas, realizing that for that my experience is not everyone's lived experience. There's some people that grow up and part of their ignorance is because they have not grown up with diversity around them, with experience in having a African American teacher as a white person or a boss or anything like that, and that skews perceptions and perspectives, and and thinking that is the only lived experience. And so that really brought a lot of concern for me and discontent, because if I'm going to be in an environment with people, you can't say crazy things around me, And so I love you, but I'm going to have to educate you. And, and so just in case you could get mad, but just in case your story would never be that no one ever told me, but your story would be that someone told me and I didn't listen. And so I wanted to make sure that I had an impact in the environments that I was in. And so that's really, just growing up in those diverse environments. It helped me understand people and know people, and really also understand whiteness and white people and how it operates. And so being in these environments, going into an all-white environment, wanting to make sure that I'm representing my community well, but I'm also showing people another way and bringing truth in those environments that I'm in.
What does that look like? So 866-801-8255, if anyone has any questions or want to join in the conversation, we're here for it. I had lunch today and I was talking about how I'm learning, and I had a caller last week that really made me sit up because I never considered their perspective before. Right. Because in my circle, I couldn't imagine not being a part of a community, not being part of a community of support. When I saw Miss Jamaica win and Miss Nigeria lost her mind, I was like, I recognize what that feels like and looks like, and I get it. Where some people were like, "Oh my God, what is happening?" Because we're in competition. No, we're not. We're actually not. You know. But to get to a place where we understand one another, I said, next 2020, I'm going to try not to use the words white people and black people. Yeah. Because, again, it's a made-up construct, and then it puts people in these defensive spaces where they're not open to hearing. Right. I'm going to try to get to a place where I was having lunch with one of my partners, and I've said, he spent his life as a white man in rooms with white men where he didn't think that there was anything wrong with it just being white men, because that was the norm. Right. White men make decisions. So why would I think anything other? So when you start talking about diversity, you'll plop a black person in as a checkbox, not as we need this. We're doing this because we have to, because they say we need diversity, but they don't understand the value of it. Right. So they're not bad people. Right. They're just, as Jason Johnson was here before you, if you're a 73-year-old white man, you grew up when you were calling Asians Oriental. Yes. You could pat a woman on her fanny and that was okay.
And times have changed.
You could call grown people boy and girl. And it was normal. It didn't make you racist or bad. It just, well, this is the way we accept it.
It was just what they consider just life.
Right. So now we have to bring those people into this out of the dark ages.
Right.
And we have to do it with love at the same time. Be angry when we run into it, but then do something to change.
Right.
So is that what Be the Bridge is
yeah,
about?
Be the Bridge is, helping people with that racial literacy, like you were talking about, helping people have a common language, like you said, like just people not even understanding the constructive whiteness and the constructive blackness. Like you may say, oh, black is a political and social construct, but people don't even understand how whiteness came to be and how it is also a political and social construct. It's a system. And so explaining that and understanding that, okay, if you're a European descent or whatever that was, there's something that's been lost even in your history, just like this history as it relates to Black people, and explaining that to people, like, if you have German heritage, what do you know about Germany? And so
outside of Nazi Germany,
because
that was a 10-year period.
Exactly.
That doesn't define
There's
the whole entirety.
bunch.
Right. It's interesting. I'm watching Watchmen. I'm not going to give away too much because we're doing a panel discussion tomorrow, right? Because the finale was last night. But in the finale, there's a character, and it's a Greek character, but it's the Greek name for Ramsey. The name of this character is a Greek name for an actual Egyptian pharaoh. And I'm saying to myself as I'm doing a little research on it, why wouldn't they just call him Ramses? Ramses II. Why wouldn't they just call him by his name? And I find it interesting for a group of people to always feel the need to change the name of a thing. And I studied mythology in high school. The Greek and Roman gods have different names as the same god, right? But they changed the name when they came in power. I'm not going to call Juno Zeus. I'm gonna call them something different. And when we got here off of the boats, the first thing they did was change our name.
Your name, because your name attaches you to place and to culture and to identity. And when that's lost, we're lost. And so it's like, I think it's really about when you say using, for us it's harder because we will never know some of the original places that we've come from, but reclaiming that and knowing that and understanding that and doing research on that, I think that's important because that's a part of our identity makeup.
So if you're white, if you identify as being white in America, you have also allowed someone to strip your culture and your identity from yourself. To buy into this thing called whiteness means that you're giving up a part of your soul.
Right.
And is it worth it?
Yeah.
866-801-8255. Go ahead.
I was just going to say,
Latasha, tell me something.
I was just going to say, just even the changing of last names, how many last names of Jewish people that or people who are from Germany, or because their names were hard to pronounce, it they dropped, certain syllables and certain letters, consonants in their name to make it more American. And so the cost that being American has cost a lot of families and a lot of heritage. That's for me, I know that that's a part of who I am and part of my creator. And so when a part of that is lost, a part of me is lost. So I think it's about redefining. And then, when we start talking about diversity, we can't talk about diversity without talking about inclusion. And so like you gave the example, you said, people want to look the part, but they don't really want to be the part. They don't want to give any power away, So, they want to, I can invite you to the table, but it's on my terms. And so really inclusion is about, I'm going to invite you to the table. I'm going to give you a mic. And you know what? As a matter of fact, you can have my seat. And that's a whole different power dynamic when you give up your seat for someone else at the to make room for other people at the table.
Who's going to do that, Latasha?
You know what? I think, I witnessed this at a conference. And as people are learning and growing in this work, they really start seeing how do I deconstruct what it means to be white and to hold power in this country. And some of that is making room for other voices. And so this lady was at a conference and she was sitting on the stage and she said, you know what, there's a lot that I can say as it relates to justice that I do, But really, who you need to hear from is this lady right here that's sitting in the audience who has taught me. And so, really, I don't feel like I am equipped to speak on this, and I want to give this space to her. I saw a white lady do it. And in that moment,
shout out to white lady.
And in that moment, I almost wanted to cry because that's it. Because that takes, to do this work, you cannot start from a place of pride. And that's eating us up. But you really have to start from a place of humility and understanding, like that sisterhood where if I win, you win. And I think that's what that Nigerian lady was expressing, at that pageant. It was like, we're collective, and we need to get back to that. We are collective. We're not individualistic, And so when we start thinking as a collective, we start behaving as a collective, and then we can move the ship forward.
Ship with a P.
Yes.
United States. 866-801-8255. Latasha Morrison. She is the co-founder of Be the Bridge. They got $1 million grant from Facebook. We're going to talk about that in a second. Yeah. You got money from Facebook. I likened it to, how do we get in bed with the devil and make it work? Yeah. That's what I said. But you're gonna educate me. Listen, here's the thing. I think, again, we say tech operates in this kind of space where it doesn't see color, it doesn't see this and this and that. But it does.
It does.
It's built into the algorithm. Yes. It's baked into the code.
Yeah.
And you being there can help break the code. Yeah. You're going to tell us how, but let me take a couple of callers. Let's do that because they want to talk, and we got time because you're not going anywhere.
Okay.
Let's go to your home state, North Carolina. Mac wants to talk diversity. Welcome to the Karen Hunter Show.
Hey, Karen, how you doing? This is Mac from Charlotte, North Carolina. It's my first time calling in.
Welcome.
Good. Hey,
you were waiting for that. He was like, okay, let me get my yay. All right.
Yeah. Hey, I'm a prior military service, 20 years, and I agree with Latasha. My kids are military brats also, too, right? So, and I also teach school. So I work for different cultures. I work for whites. I work for blacks. I also had whites work for me, and vice versa, and also have taught in predominantly, say, white neighborhoods and also black neighborhoods. Some of our kids, even in 2019, they are still saying, oh, that's for the white people, right? So even in those moments, I will say, well, I'm not sure what you're talking about, and then we go through an education class at that moment. And then on the flip side, I could even hear some white folks say, that gang sign that, you know what this means? I go, no, I don't know what you mean. Could you explain that? And I have to give them education. Yeah. So it works both ways. Okay. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thank you for sharing, Mac. Appreciate you. Let's head over to Michon in Kentucky. You're on. Welcome.
Hey, what's up, Karen Hunter? Man, you started a conversation, and I got 4, 5, 10 people called me and said, Michon, you need to call in to Karen Hunter. So I am totally in agreement with the conversation that we need to change our terminology about associating to color. And that's what someone told me, that you said that you were 2020, that you don't no longer want to call people white people. Well, I've been saying that now. I am also a military person. And I remember I had to divorce my wife, because when I changed my MOS to become a surgical technologist, the environment that I moved in was 98% European Americans, and I don't say white anymore. I call American Europeans. And she started saying, you're trying to be white. And I was like, I'm not trying to be white. I'm trying to better myself. What are you talking about? And because of her mentality, I realized that all I was trying to do is better myself, and better myself is not being white. It's just bettering myself. And I started realizing that we associate bettering ourselves to color, and it's not. And I'm glad that I had my military experience. The military taught me that a person who's willing to better themselves is just a person trying to better themselves, to improve their quality of life. And if I'm the man of my household, that's my responsibility. So I think you absolutely on point to stop using color. I associate myself as an American descendant of slaves. I no longer say I'm a Negro, Black, and African American. So Karen Hunter, welcome. I'm proud of you.
All right. You're complicated, but I appreciate you for calling. I don't know what to do with that. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you don't know what to do with something.
Yeah,
Latasha.
yeah. I think
a
the
lot
thing
there.
is we can't.
There's a lot.
We're trying not to buy into the construct, but that is the construct that we have here in America, and everything operates out of that.
I feel like people want to find their place, right? So whether it's an American descendant of slaves, and therefore anybody that's not is illegitimately black, or it's this, I'm talking about something really simple.
Yeah,
I don't want to add layers to this and put more boxes around and chains around people.
But
I need it to be simple.
It's so complex, and it's because the thing is we are part of a racial hierarchy. And that is not invisible.
It's a caste system.
Yes, it operates and it's powerful. So whether we want to name it, or take claim to it, that's one thing. And we can change the conversation, but we still have to empower in the conversation because we still have to deconstruct the system. We can't pretend like the system doesn't exist. So it's not to be colorblind.
Right.
Like,
no.
Because that's
a
lie. Yes.
Right,
we want to see color and we want to love it.
Right.
We want to be colorful, color caring, color brave, all that stuff. But the thing is educating on the history that's attached to what it means to be black and what it means to be white. And, that everybody, when you say Asian is a place, and there are many different cultures and countries that are part of Asia, know?
And they don't all walk in lockstep. They're not monolithic.
Exactly. And so I think it's just the educating part, but we have to understand that this is a system. And as we want to reclaim place, we also have to deconstruct system. So
I agree with that. All right. Latasha Morrison is here. She's going to tell us how to be the bridge. Yeah. She's going to tell us how she got money because it's Monday. Was Monday. We do a Monday Mover segment. She's going to tell us how to move to get the money to be able to build bridges in other areas. Yeah. Let me take one more call and then we're going to go to a break. Let me go over to Mississippi. Is this Mississippi? Yep. Sean, welcome.
Thank you, Karen. White conservative dude here. But look, wait.
Ha ha.
I know. Look.
No, you look. First of all, take him down for a second. We got some rules of engagement here. People don't just get to call and talk. I don't have to take a single caller, and I won't. But I don't like when people like you've put these labels on yourself, Sean. So you're coming in and you're setting a table for what purpose? Why are you telling me that you're a white conservative dude? Ha ha.
Because I wanted you to know that off the rip.
What difference does that make? No, but I'm saying, who cares?
Well, I think everybody cares.
No, why should I care that you're white and conservative when you're calling to have a conversation? Why does that matter?
I think it just matters, and you even admitted
no, but you didn't.
You're
not answering a question
extent.
Though. Why does it matter?
I'm truly answering it to the best of my ability. I'm not trying to be difficult. I promise.
So you can't answer why it matters? Why does it matter to you that you're white and conservative?
Because I want you to know that.
But I don't care.
Hesitation.
I really don't.
Yes,
I don't
ma'am.
care. I just listen. Let me make it simple for you, Sean. You're a person. You're an American, right? I'm American. We're having a conversation about diversity, inclusion, building bridges, being better, right? So you want to add to the conversation, right? You want to say something positive, or you want to inject your opinion about what we're talking about. Hey, I'm Sean in Mississippi. Here's what I think about that. And tell me what you think. I don't care that you're from Mississippi. We just say this because we don't want to give out your real name. But this is a conversation. Can you join the conversation without bringing the baggage?
Well, that's just it. I mean, you just in your conversation with your guest here, you've said that you want to own the color and you want to own the blackness.
No, I never said that. Did we say that?
Well,
I think
yes,
you'll hear what you want to hear. No, I said, as a matter of fact, come 2020, I want to eliminate having to call people black people and call white people, and have conversations around the issues and topics that matter to all of us. I'm struggling with that because it's a construct that literally, as Latasha pointed out, is a caste system. And people are stuck in the matrix, and we are having a hard time breaking through because people are wedded to these terms. There's power in these terms. There's a benefit to you being a white man in America that you seem to hold on to. So you're making my point. I want to release us from that.
conceptually, I understand what you're saying, and I really do.
I don't think you do.
But what? I'm
I don't.
sorry.
I actually don't think you do understand, because there would be no but.
Well, I'm trying. Okay. Let me put it. You're going to get offended by this too, and I promise you.
Then why do it? Why? So stop. If you know you're going to offend somebody, why do it? Why? Why would you offend me? Why would you offend me? Why?
Listen, Miss Karen, I'm not trying to. I turned off Sean Hannity, and I found you, and I've stuck with you because I'm enjoying what I hear. I'm learning things. Do you see what I'm saying? That's what.
Okay.
That probably shouldn't be offensive.
No, that's not offensive at all.
But anyway, we can't deny our whiteness no more than we can deny our blackness.
You can. All right,
else.
Sean, I'm gonna make it easy. You can. It's not denying anything.
Yeah.
You're not white. I'm not black. You're a human being who happens to live in America, which makes you an American. If we could start there, then we're on common ground. Now, how can we build together? It's crickets.
I try to do that every day. What you just said. I mean, honest to God.
So what happens along the way? What happens? How do you get tripped up?
The more we work together, the more we piss off the establishment, which is a great thing.
Yes.
The more we talk, the way we're talking now, is the best thing ever.
So why don't we do more of it? You know, this conservative thing that you talk about, because I hate those labels, because I don't know what that means either.
Oh, no.
I mean, you can't wait. Let me just tell you, these are facts. Black folk are some of the most conservative people in. You want to talk about anti-abortion, Christian values?
Yeah.
That's black. All the going to church, not just Wednesday, Sunday, Friday. Mm-hmm. You want to talk about Bible thumping and loving the Lord? You can't really get more conservative than a black person. But we vote. We vote against actually who we are, because when you say conservative, what I hear is something that is anti-me.
Yeah.
So I can't vote against my interests. So I vote according to the people that aren't oppressing me, aren't denying me, aren't suppressing my vote. I vote in that way, even if it doesn't line up with my spirit, which is crazy. And then on the other side, people vote against their interests. They vote against resources and things coming to their community, because over here is a validation of whiteness that you're not going to get over there. So, Sean, what makes you conservative?
It's the very things you just mentioned that make so many blacks conservative. And I use that argument all the time. Blacks, in a lot of ways, can be more conservative than a lot of whites that are toting the freaking whatever, the flag, whatever I'm talking about.
I don't know either. I know you just confuse your own self. So 2020. This one makes. Are you voting for Trump?
I will probably vote for Trump.
Why?
Yes.
Why?
Because I see what he's done with the economy.
What is that? What is he? No, So. What specifically has Donald Trump done with the economy that did not predate him? Because the economy was great when he took over a country with record number of job growth every month, new jobs I think it was 30-something months of job under Obama. We had health care. The stock market kept hitting records. Unemployment was at an all-time low. He took over an economy that was moving in the right direction. So what did Trump do specifically to make that even better?
Less now than when it was.
No, I need to know specific policy, because no, Sean, this is important.
Taxes.
What the taxes?
NAFTA. He killed NAFTA. Okay. He's done many things that has boosted our economy. Deregulation has boosted our economy. So I mean,
wait. I remember the Great Recession. I remember that, right? 2017. We were all in this room. Okay. So Obama took over, saved the auto industry, put certain things into place to make sure the banks were, and then
2008.
2008. I'm sorry. You're right. 2007, 2008. We were hitting a crash, brought us back. And then, so you're saying what Trump has done trumps that, what Obama did, and deregulation and NAFTA, which I don't know what the impact of NAFTA is. Can you tell me specifically how NAFTA helped the economy?
No, getting rid of NAFTA has helped.
Right?
The
How?
economy.
How?
Better trade. I'm trying, Miss Karen. Better trade deals are better for our economy.
Who are we better trading with? Because last I looked, China, which was our biggest trading partner, basically not only are they not taking our garbage anymore, which we want. So here's the thing about like life, and this includes money. I'm sorry. What you do with your money right now, you won't see the impact of it for another 3 or 4 years, right? So good and bad. Compounding interest takes time, right? So China has decided not to take our garbage anymore. We won't know what the impact of that is for a couple of 3 years. We won't know. In terms of our trade, we already know the farmers, we have to subsidize them more because we're no longer giving China our soybeans, and they were the largest importers of soybean, and a host of other things that we brought in from China. You have to go? Is that what you're saying? Okay. What else? Come on, Latasha.
No, I was saying the steel industry.
Come on.
You know, there's a lot of things as it relates to the tariffs and all these things that we're headed. You can tell, like any economist right now, they're predicting with some of the things and the deals that's being made within the next couple of years. Like you said, it takes time to catch up, you know, and some of the protections that we put in as it relates to the banks and some of the things that saved us, the things that caused the issue for the Great Recession in 2007 that we had to go and fix, and giving more accountability to banks. Some of those things have been stripped away again.
Right.
And so when you start looking at the, yes. And so when we start looking at, it's a cycle. And so I think some of the things, you know, some of the decisions that's being made, when you look at who's gaining momentum, you know, ask the truckers about some of the tax breaks.
Yes.
You know, and how they're suffering from some of those things.
But ultimately, Sean, you know, you're a person that listens to the show, which I appreciate, and I'm grateful. We're both Americans. If I'm telling you that a vote for Trump, when I think about how humanity is hurt, when I think about our global partnerships with countries like Canada and Germany and Great Britain being impacted by a president that is not just embarrassing but doesn't care about rule of law. When I talk about the assault on our Constitution, which so many people say they love so much, that great document, every day is being flouted by a person who doesn't read the Constitution or uphold the Constitution in any way. If I'm telling you, Sean, that a vote for Trump is very hurtful to the future of this country, for your kids and our future, you would still pull a lever for him?
Especially as of right now with what Democrat candidates we have, absolutely. But Ms. Karen, it's not, you know, that they were saying the very same things. The right was saying what you just said about Obama. The end is near, Obama. Bull crap, it's not. And I respectfully say that to you. Okay. It's not. He doesn't have that much power. No one man, luckily, our founders
you're actually
were smarter
right.
than that.
You're actually right. You're actually right, and he absolutely shouldn't. But I can't say that Obama is the same type of person. And I don't know why the quote-unquote right, because I don't know what that is, unless we're talking about REICH, would put Obama in a category of the end would be near, because I don't know what he was doing to usher in the end. But Trump is a different animal, and we're talking about the fabric of this country and the flag that people so care about. He's trouncing on it every single day. Well, I'm not going to convince you because, you know, I read somewhere that people who are set on this, they're set on this. I'm just glad that you listen and at least open, Sean. So I want to welcome you and thank you and just keep listening, and hopefully maybe something will get in. I don't know. Sean.
Yes, ma'am. God bless.
God bless you. All right. Bye. It's interesting. This is what I get to do every day. Listen,
he needs to go get that book that I wrote.
What book did you write? Tell us about this book.
I have a book called Be the Bridge, and then it's a faith-based book, and so it's pursuing God's heart for racial reconciliation. But we start with, you know, the process. We have this process that takes people through this truth-telling process, and so we combine it with talking about history, so we can have that common history, common language, and then also bringing about stories where a lot of my audience are people just like him.
Really?
You know, would Be the Bridge, 84% of the people are white.
Sean in Mississippi.
Yeah.
So Sean, get the book. We're going to tweet out. Follow us on Twitter at SXM Urban View, at Karen Hunter. Be the Bridge is the book by my new friend here, Latasha Morrison. Where do people follow you?
Yes, at Latasha Morrison.
Okay, that's easy.
At Latasha Morrison on all the social, and our BeTheBridge.com and LatashaMorrison.com.
Okay. What about bridge builder. Be a bridge builder. Be a bridge builder. Is that
Yeah,
also-
but it's easier to say bethebridge.com.
Yeah, I like that too.
Yeah, you can
Okay.
you can go there and get connected with all of our social media connections on from our website.
Now, how does the bridge work?
Okay, so the bridge really works. We have a kind of like a private Facebook group that actually is the first step. You know, people who want to are aware that racism exists and they want to do something about it. They want to help deconstruct and they want to learn. And so that's where you have to be. We're not interested in people who you're trying to convince them that racism and oppression and all that stuff, exists.
So first step.
So you
is
have to be
admit
aware.
You have a problem.
You have to be
There's a
aware and acknowledge it. Okay. And so that's the first step. And so we get them that way. And then from there, we want people to, I think online is a first good connection. They can't talk in our group for 3 months.
Ooh.
We have units that people go through. And then once they go through that process, we hope people can connect with people within their area where they can build, create, Be the Bridge groups. And then we have a curriculum that people can go through. And so we have 1,000 groups across the country and also in some other countries.
So how long ago did you start this?
It officially started in 2016, but we started the conversations probably about 2015.
Okay.
Yeah.
And people can't talk for 3 months?
Can't talk for 3 months.
Why did you decide to do
Because
that?
it's about discipline, because a lot of times we talk over each other, and a part of this work, you remember I said, like, stepping into this work of racial literacy and anti-racism, we need to listen. Because especially if you're part of the majority culture and you haven't had to listen. As a Black woman, I've had to listen. I've had to go in environments in order for me to thrive and survive. I have to adjust and to listen, to understand the culture that I'm a part of. If you're part of the majority culture, you haven't had to do that. You haven't had to make those adjustments. And so it's a part of discipline, and it's a way to see there's probably something that you missed. There's probably some blind spots. And by listening, active listening, that thing might right there may begin the transformation that needs to happen. Mm-hmm. And so as they're listening, there's actual units that we've created for people to walk through. So these are lessons.
Give me an example.
Podcasts, books, articles, because a part of this first step is you have to educate yourself.
What book is on your list? Besides your book, Be the Bridge, pursuing God's heart for racial, because God is in the mix here.
Yeah.
God's heart for racial reconciliation.
You know what book I like, because it really gives, it depends on the audience. For right now, for this audience, I think one of the best books out there right now that breaks down history, it's a hard read, it's called Stamped from the Beginning. Stamped from the Beginning.
Yes, it's Abraham Kendi.
Yeah, Abraham Kendi.
We've had him on.
I like that one because of the history. It shows you everything as far as it relates to the history in America. I think that's a good starting point. There's several other books.
I put The Half Has Never Been Told, even though it's a really thick
yes.
book. But he breaks it down
to
body parts.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
He takes each body part and shows how the hands, how contributed to the making of America.
Right. And then if you have, if you're a person of faith, The Color of Compromise is one that I recommend. There's so many. There's a book called White Fragility that may
Robin DiAngelo.
Her work is really good. If you're a person of faith, it's called there's one called White Awake. And Waking Up White, there's a podcast, Seeing White, there's all kinds of things out there to help and tool people.
Now, Robin DiAngelo, when she was here, she also, when she does these groups, she won't let white people talk in them, because she says that it becomes about you.
Yeah.
Because they want to start crying and talk about, and then it's all about having to soothe your discomfort and your hurt for what you didn't know, as opposed to the trauma that's been going on for 400 years. So she doesn't, but she gets called a sellout a lot.
Yeah.
White people say she's selling out her race by doing this work.
Well, think about the people who were the white people that were part of the civil rights movement or the abolitionists. They were the ones that were attacked. Even more in some cases, and so, but you have to continue to do the work. But what she's doing is she's speaking the language because she knows the language and she understands the psychology behind that construct, and she's calling it out. And anytime when people feel uncomfortable, they feel like it's wrong, because we love comfort. And so the thing that we talk about and Be the Bridge is like, if you're signing up for comfort, then this is the wrong place, because this work is ugly, is messy, and it's uncomfortable.
But discomfort is where change happens.
Yes.
That's where growth happens.
Exactly.
And don't we want to grow, people? Don't we want to be better? You were saying that Sean from Mississippi is he is a composite of a lot of people that join the Be the Bridge movement.
He's, and the thing is, I don't want us, even with Sean, there's a lot of hope in that. He's listening. He's willing to listen. And so that's a first step, and so hopefully there will be some educating where I hope he goes out and reads some things and understands and start connecting the dots,
right.
And understanding, all was connected to the history that's connected to some of the decisions that are being made, understanding the language. A lot of times when we talk about even race, we don't understand like it's a social construct. Even racism, you think it's very individualistic,
or
when
like
it's
I'm
a
calling
system.
you the N-word.
Exactly.
But that's not racism.
Exactly.
That's just
exactly.
ignorance.
Yeah.
So how does the Facebook? So you talk about Facebook. I got triggered because I got off Facebook because of everything with Cambridge Analytica. I'm struggling with this. So educate me on this.
The thing with Facebook, I look at it like this. It's a young organization, still a young organization. I look at it like seatbelts and cars. When the car was a beautiful, great creation, invention, because you can get from one place to another. It connected families, And that's kind of like what Facebook has done. It's connecting people. Like there's people from high school that I graduated with that I would never be in contact with. There's things that I'm doing on Be the Bridge that would have never started if it wasn't for a vehicle like Facebook. But with any type of invention, there has to be accountability and there has to be growth and improvements with it. And so I think as long as we get some growth and some improvement and some restrictions, it could be used for good. And so just like, with the car, we were having accidents, then we had to put seatbelts in the car. And then we had to require you to wear those seatbelts. And, and so many other things that has developed with the vehicle, the car, the invention, when now it has airbags and, all these things that make us safe. So I think that same thing has to happen with social media. There has to be an evolution of safety that comes along with it. But in the midst of that, the way I use Facebook has been for good. That group that I talked about started with 69 people. And now that group is over 25,000.
Wow.
Over 25,000. And that has resulted in over 1,000 groups, Be the Bridge groups across the face-to-face groups that meet, that people start, even in New Zealand,
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Because that's where Christ Church was.
Yeah.
And they had that horrific act of terror.
And we have
there.
Be the Bridge groups that had already started they're working on the anti-racism campaign there now and a conference for 2020. And they connected to Be the Bridge online, So it's a powerful tool.
With 1 minute left, Facebook. How did you get money from?
Yeah, well, they did a thing where they were trying to find change makers. They wanted to pour more money into not just organizations, but people who were doing work that couldn't typically get a grant, and so you had to apply. We applied. You had to do these interviews. We did the interviews. We did the work, and we were chosen. We were the only organization in North America that was chosen. So it's 5 of us that got the large grant, and so they are from Africa, India, Brazil, myself, and then France.
Wow.
And so we're the 5, and we're still under residency. So we're learning from the communities group. Facebook is a big operation. And so the communities group, they really care about people, and they're really about people doing community building and community work.
Do they tell you how to spend this grant?
With the grant, one of the things we applied for, we wanted to create Be the Bridge conversations for youth and for college, because if we're going to continue to pass the mantle and build a bridge like we're walking on that others built for us, we have to make sure we're doing the same thing for them. And so we're creating curriculum for youth and for college students to help them grow in the anti-racism work.
How can we help you become successful in this space?
One of the things that I would say in this audience is for us to keep talking to continue to tell our story, to continue to read and to educate ourselves. I think that's important for us to continue to grow. And I would say go out and buy the book, Be the Bridge. Follow us on social media. Go to our website, and then be willing to start these conversations, because we give you a tool to do it.
Latasha Morrison, thank you so much. I appreciate you, and thank you all who are supporting. Those of you who are still on Facebook, Be the Bridge.